Over the weekend, Boeing and the machinist union reached a new contract proposal set for a vote this Wednesday. Join us right now with more on the world of labor, including we're going to talk about the terms to end the Boeing strike. And we'll also talk a little bit about where the world is going as it relates to going back to the office. Is Alan Guarino. He's the vice chairman of Korn Ferry, CEO, and board services practice. Good morning.
Good morning.
So when you look at this, the labor deal and this strike, the bigger question I have for you is just what we're seeing in terms of pricing power that labor has over these companies or not. I'm curious sort of where you think that the power now lies and how that's going to feed into the system more broadly.
Sure. So when you think about white-collar workforce, we all know all the data on skills shortage, right? So that puts the power with labor. It's not dissimilar with collective bargaining organizations that provide a different type of labor, right? So the point is, the power still now resides with workers. And interestingly, since 1965, current data is that labor union acceptance among the American people is now at a new high. Mm-hmm. So you've got support from the nation for unions.
Right.
And by the way, you've also got an interesting demographic, right? The labor unions today are millennials and Generation Xers making up a big part of that workforce. They're less compliant than boomers. So as a result, they're more vocal.
Less compliant, more willing to strike.
More willing to strike, and by the way, more able to strike. You've got all kinds of things that have happened. Post-pandemic, the pressure during the pandemic on logistics and healthcare made those tough work environments. Tough work environment makes people say, why am I here? Why am I not being paid enough? And all of that sort of builds to create a movement, right?
They've been out 39 days on strike. Is there a point where, okay, we're not getting checks coming in and the union coffers are only going to cover so much of their pay? Is there a point where that pressure kind of kicks in?
Important question. Remember, the unions do have strike relief fund capabilities, so people can get paid, not what they typically.
Not their full pay, though.
Correct. But they also have the optionality of doing temporary work and basically filling that void
like an
for
Uber
a
driver?
period of time.
Like Uber driving or something?
Uber driving, or just go to a temp agency and get put out working at a warehouse or whatever. Yeah.
What percentage of workers now in America are unionized?
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
I think it's not. Despite all the headlines that we talk about, I still think it's a small number.
Well, certainly less than 50%.
Oh, I think it might be less than 20%.
I think it's like
it could be less than 20%.
Yeah.
Sure, because so much of our labor is deployed in this small.
Because one of the questions I was going to ask you is, if labor was such a powerful force in America, you actually would think that it would become a powerful
10%.
force. That's what I thought. I was thinking it was close to 10%. It would be even a more powerful force in politics. And right now, I think, depending on how you read these polls, it is not a powerful force in politics, insofar as the politician who is supporting, quote unquote, labor, or at least these unions, appears to be losing or in a heated battle here.
Sure. Well, there's a disconnect there as well. I think what labor management has found is that what they recommend to their members isn't necessarily how the members vote. So the bloc isn't as controlled as one might think when it comes to labor saying, let's support this candidate.
How close do you think we are, or you are, to seeing more labor movements, more union movements among white-collar workers?
Wow. Honestly, flipping to the next topic, potentially, in return to work.
That's where I was going with this.
Yeah. I think there'll be more talk than action. It certainly is something that will be brought up. The reality is it's very hard to get a collective bargaining agreement that could be easily implemented for white-collar workers. White-collar jobs are not as easily boxed as gray and blue-collar jobs. A machinist, while they're different, they're certainly more easy to put into a grouping than various white-collar roles.
Okay, which is a nice segue to this issue of the return-to-work effort by Amazon and other companies that are now following Amazon, or some that were leading Amazon. Where are you on both the movement in terms of what management's trying to do, but also where are you on, to the extent you believe it, the sort of behavioral science debate that we've been having around sort of some of the things that people like Adam Grant and others have found, saying that a hybrid work environment actually creates more productivity?
Sure. So if this was a prize fight, and that's really what I've been explaining this as, we're in the 7th round of the return to office prize fight.
The 7th round?
Yeah, okay. I think we're in the 7th round. Nothing happens quickly, right? Massive dislocation from the pandemic gave people the luxury of flexibility working at home. That that doesn't get settled in 60 months.
Yep.
So the fact of the matter is, Korn Ferry Workforce 2024 found that 60% of employers will stay in a job they hate if they have flexibility. That's
Really?
pretty powerful. That's pretty
Wow,
powerful.
so you don't have to pay them as much either?
That's pretty, well, that potentially. I mean, don't know why they hate it. Typically, it's because they don't have great leadership, but that's another topic. So the fact is that return to office gets a lot of noise because it's the thing that people want to spout about, because it's sort of something that people see as that employees don't want to do, so it makes for good news. It is not as prolific as one might think.
But what would you advise a CEO or management on this topic when they say, do we need all of our people in? Do we not need all of our people in? Can we get as much from them working from home? Can we not? When you start to put into that equation the cost of commutes and lunch and food, and how should that, all of those variables be put into this box and sorted?
Sure. I advise management on it all the time, and they don't necessarily like it if they're in the return to office camp.
Okay, so you're not in the return to office camp.
I'm not in any camp. I'm in the camp of free market. Labor is a free market resource, right? It votes with its feet. So if you are a return to office company 5 days a week, Adam Smith is going to bring you workers over a period of time that want to work in an office. By the way, 20% of all workers or so would prefer 5 days a week in an office. By the way,
only 20% want
yes,
that.
25%. And by the way, the same 20 to 25 on the other side of the barbell would rather stay home and work remote
all the time.
All the time.
Okay.
So guess what? If I'm an employer, I'm giving up a massive percentage of the labor force that I could recruit from if I pick one or other side of the barbell. So let's face it, hybrid is where it makes sense. How much and how you do it.
But let me ask you a different question. That's about, you're taking into consideration sort of the labor market, which is your business. Where do you land on the productivity argument?
Well, the data says that productivity increased significantly with remote work and then flattened. And I think it was something like 2 or 3 days out of the office gave you increased productivity. Day 4 and day 5 didn't increase any more. The question is, how do you measure it? We all think we can measure it. It's
well, that's
not
what I'm
that
questioning.
easy.
So do you believe